Hey there, and welcome to U Talk. We highlight stories from across Canada, the diverse cultures and communities living here, and organizations and individuals that help make life the best it can be. I'm your host, Ryan Funk. Food is a key part of culture. The Brandon Friendship Centre developed a pilot project to create a food truck to help introduce Canadians to Indigenous cuisine and culture. I got to sit down with Indigenous Eats manager Darian Kennedy about this project, building community collaboratively, and the delicious food you can get at the food truck. Thank you, Darian, for taking this time to chat with me and talk a little bit about this food truck, Indigenous Eats. I was just scrolling online, saw it, and I was like, wow, this sounds really cool. So I really wanted to reach out to you and chat with you.
Yeah, thanks for thinking about us, and thank you for taking the time out of your day. It's raining outside right now, and I thought I'd come in and do some paperwork while trying to keep cool. So,
of course. So how about you just give me a quick introduction about yourself, Darian? Maybe your cooking background or cuisine, or kind of your interest in there.
Oh yeah. So I've been cooking since the age of 4. I've been making coffee ever since I could talk and stuff like that. So I've always been that kind of individual who gets enjoyment with cooking and with food. So, food is in our everyday life. You know what I mean? We can't go. We need at least three meals a day, and we're privileged enough in Canada to, lucky enough to, for most families, we are able to provide that for them. And so Indigenous Eats was born out of the idea to have affordable Indigenous cuisine within the community of Brandon. And that vision was created by the Brandon Friendship Centre. And really about 3 weeks ago, I got hired and I got thrown into the world of food truck, trailer, everything.
Yeah.
And so it's been a learning experience, but it's also been some of the best, most enlightening, kindest and hardest part of my life within the last 3 weeks, because there's a lot of uncertainties with food trailers and the weather, if the weather can cooperate with you and stuff like that. So one thing I do want to add is that the food trailer is owned by Brandon Friendship Centre, and I am an employee, and I don't have any personal interest in it, except that I am the general manager. And a lot of misconception around the food truck is that it's doing well, yes, but then I'm profiting. No, I'm not. I'm doing this out of the goodness of my own heart. Right now, right this moment, actually, I decided to come in and volunteer my hours to you on my day off. And so it's just one of those things where I see an opportunity for Indigenous cuisine to be spotlighted in the community of Brandon. And I think it's really important for Canadians, both non-Indigenous and Indigenous, to come together. And this is what that food truck is about, is to bridge those two cultures and basically cuisines.
Yeah, food is kind of integral in most cultures. Everyone has their cultural dishes or different foods where they come from, and yeah, it's very important to kind of the essence of a people's.
Exactly. And I am so glad that another foodie is interviewing me, because you get it to the point. You know what I mean? Food is our identity, and it's also our story. And so with my menu, I call it mine because it's literally all the knowledge and stuff that I've gotten from the people who passed on, and also people who are still with us. They've all added their little critiques, and I learned stuff from them. And I was like, if I see a better way, I ask them, I say, hey, can I use that? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. It's not mine. I learned it from so-and-so, or you know what I mean? the kind of like the organic way of the
Yeah,
people's.
that combination of knowledge passed down, and it kind of becomes its new unique flair and identity over time.
Exactly. And so in turn, when I created the menu, I borrowed a lot of that traditional cooking for feasts and stuff like that, and a lot of my own family members. Like we have a big Christmas supper in April for Easter, Thanksgiving and stuff like that. And they're like, Darian, what are you going to cook this year? And I've always done that ever since I was a young kid, like 14, 15. And I would cook all the meals, a full turkey, meatballs, everything. And so that's my background.
That's awesome.
Although I don't have the traditional red seal or anything, a lot of it is passed down through my culture, and learning how to experiment with different food dishes and being creative is something that I've really excelled at within the last 3 weeks. And I can tell you about something that was born from the food truck was the Indigenous Delight. I don't know where I saw it. I don't know. I just saw my mom eating rice and raisins, which is a staple in some indigenous communities, and putting Saskatoon berries on it. What we call as berry soup in Indigenous Eats. It's just literally just Saskatoons boiled for I think 2 hours. Around 2 hours, give or take. I don't have a clock actually timing it. And then I'll add some sugar, some sweetener, and some flour and water. And that's basically all that there is to that. And one night I was sleeping and I was dreaming about the food truck. And I was dreaming my mom was putting a bunch of berries and rice on a piece of fry bread. And I woke up and I'm like, dang it, that's a great idea. And so I tried it out, and then they're like, Darian, you're onto something. And I was, no way, really? And so I tried it. I'm like, dang it, this is good. I don't know what to call it, but this is good. And so the first day that I had one of our summer students, which the MMF has lent us 3 summer students, we got fantastic. A startup, and they pay for their wages for the first 2 months. It's a partnership between the BFC and MMF where we're able to help train them and also give them different tools that they might need in the future. So one of the things I'm working on with the students is learning how to make bannock, learning how to the different, tomorrow we're doing our food safety and doing orientation. A lot of it is also just little things like customer service skills. One of the summer students that we have on has really excelled in learning how to do the till work. And so the interest is there, you know what I mean? The want and the eagerness for learning our traditional meals and stuff like that is really essential to helping the kids learn and really understanding that the need for these kind of programs really exists, and we can be a part of reconciliation through different avenues. And this is one of those things in the overall picture of reconciliation. I can see this food truck playing a big, vital role in different ways. You know what I mean? A lot of people think that we can come together as cultures, as communities, if we just pledge to reconciliation. No, it's in every concept of our life, you know what I mean? And this is part.
Yes, those small moments of people coming together and just being people, sharing food, sharing stories. And at that point, the division has dissolved and you're just able to, grow together. And just seeing online, social media, talking to people, there's a lot of interest, especially for like young Indigenous folks, reconnecting with their culture and putting it on social media. And this food truck is just another avenue of, embracing culture, bringing it to the new generation. And for individuals like me who have not a lot of experience with indigenous cultures, being able to experience it for the first time and, hear it from people, it's really exciting.
It is. It is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There was something that I wanted to add is that the idea behind the menu is inspired through pre-contact, when everything was not ideal. You know what I mean? Like we had our before First Peoples, and then contact, and the nation started to share knowledge. And so one of those things that we were gifted with in the exchange of knowledges, in the exchange of knowledge and skills, was bannock. We were gifted bannock. And back then they called it something else. It could be related to the word scone or something like that. I think I did some research on that. But essentially, Indigenous people were gifted this idea of bannock, and we can use it in reconciliation to understand that we were gifted it, and now we're embracing it as our friendship food. You know what I mean? We've really it's been kind of synonymous with Indigenous culture of having bannock, and then they're like, "Well, we didn't make that." I'm like, "Well, we're still making it, and we're damn good at it." You know what I mean? So, I don't say that we own it by any means. We're borrowing some recipes, and we're very transparent in that. If somebody asks me what it's in there, I'll tell you right now. It's a lot of it is 90% ingredients and 10% love. You gotta put some time, effort into it. And the reason why our dough and stuff, people say, "Oh, well, I did that." You know what I mean? Well, it's because you didn't put the extra little bit of love into caring for it and folding it over. And I think that's also one of the key ingredients in making food taste good. And that's something that has been passed down from my mom and my grandfather.
And that's what it sounds like. You have to put that love and care in it. Otherwise, it's just a meal.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I think people really appreciate about the food truck and the kind of experience we're offering with Indigenous Eats is a lot of the staff right now for startup is volunteer, and they're my family members. And so we get along, and we're also the students that we have on, we have been invited into our kind of like food, like everybody at the Friendship Center is family, basically. Yeah. I mean, it's a family atmosphere. It's also here we were able to share what works and a lot of feedback and stuff like it. You know what I mean? A lot of my work is guided by the Friendship Center in the way that I have an idea. I say, "Hey, will this work? Yes, no, okay, let's move on." You know what I mean? I'm a very go-getter kind of person. So I think 8 out of 10 people wouldn't be in the same position as I am, because I am personally invested into wanting to see this succeed, because I feel that it's needed in the community. And I'm very happy and proud that my recipes and basically if like this is all that I could do, I would. You know what I mean? I love making, right? So
yeah, this is your passion. It's your calling.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think the coolest part of this, the Indigenous Eats food truck, is that not only is it, helping bridge the gap and, foster reconciliation, through introduction of food, but it's that collaboration between all these different groups, the Brandon Friendship Center, yourself bringing these recipes, as well as, the training of these summer students.
Exactly. And that's why I'm so I gotta thank my crew that I have right now, is because they're so words can't tell you how grateful I am that they're willing. They're like sponges at this age. I swear, like they're both 17.
Mhm.
They don't have very much kitchen experience. One says he cooks at home sometimes, and he eats out most of the time. But they came ready to work, and they're just ready for anything. And I couldn't ask for any better summer students.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
you never know when your instructions or whatever meal they're creating at the time, it's just gonna like stick in their mind, and then they're like, "This is what I want to do. I want to create my own food truck or things like that."
exactly. I wanted to add before we kind of wind up or
Yeah.
wherever organically goes, is that my intent with some of our products is to kind of be also bridge those gaps between cultures. So I like having working relationships with different businesses within the
Mhm.
area, and one of those businesses is Tomahawk Food Chips.
Okay.
And so I reached out to them and I said, hey, like we need your chips in our food truck. And it's just been so like overwhelming, like the collaboration between them and us, like we've like really hit a home run because the product is like so good, and it's Manitoba proud, Manitoba
Of course.
made.
Well,
And
you want to
that's
support
to be proud.
local at all means. You want to support local.
Exactly. And so just a few places that have been super supportive, and sorry if I forget a few, but Tender Cuts, Eastside 40, Superstore. I know Superstore is a big chain, but they've been really helpful. Grand Valley Restaurant Supply, Ace Restaurant Supply. There's so many to name a few. Forbidden Flavors, Pure Water Plus. Like there's
Yeah.
like it's like endless, and it's just like
Another example of just the collaborative nature of this whole initiative.
exactly.
Fantastic. So, is it? Oh, like I know there was kind of a soft launch that took place.
Yeah.
Has the official launch taken place now? And where can people find this truck in Brandon?
Okay, so we need everyone to look at our Facebook page because we are going mobile and we are taking catering. So the different venues that we've accepted are like different First Nations that or different businesses. We'll be doing weekly reposts because we don't know how our week will look.
Yeah, of course.
One way. With that being said, right now we only have 2 locations that we had planned on being at in Brandon, is at 205 College, which is at the BFC, the little teaching lodge in Brandon, Manitoba. And then the other one would be just on the outskirts, just off the number 10 at the Wayway Capo Gas Bar.
Fantastic. So people need to follow on social media so they know where to find you.
Yeah, Indigenous Eats, BFC Brandon MB, and that's, you can search that up. We're usually the first one, and yeah, we're always. I'm always there. So if you want to say hi or if you want to come talk, I'm always available. If there's any issues or anything, I don't seem like it's always been such like positive feedback, right? So
of course.
The amount of positivity is overwhelming, and that's not a problem that we generally
And when people show up to get some food, what are some other things or what are the big items on the menu they should be looking out for?
So something that's my favorite thing on the menu is the Bison Burger. I can't get enough of it, and I think everybody's got to try one. But if it's not for you, the regular Bannock burger is great. Our Indigenous taco is great too. Indigenous delight is even better, I hear. There's something that we made up with the Tomahawk. The Tomahawk chips brand is we'll do a small bag of fire chips with the regular taco fixings, like a regular taco in a bag. And it is amazing. Like I had the idea one day and I opened it up and I put all the fixing in there and I was like, this is so good. Oh my God. And you can't get it anywhere in Manitoba. You can't get it anywhere in the world because we created it.
It's and that's exclusive.
Exactly. So come try it out. It's only $5.
If you have any stories you'd like us to share or communities we should highlight, leave a comment down below and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with everything You Multicultural is doing. I'm Ryan Funk. This was You Talk, and have yourself a good one.